You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, where it is my goal to educate, enlighten, and evolve your intimacy. You can find me at evolveyourintimacy.com to learn more about counseling, self-study courses, sex, and the retreats that we have to offer. This show contains discussions about relationships, intimacy, and sex, and is meant for those who are 18 years and older. Now, sit back, relax, listen up, and get ready to evolve your intimacy.
Hey guys, you are listening to Stephanie from Evolve Your Intimacy, and we are talking with Mike from Vibrant Feet Modeling from Central Florida, and he is dedicated to producing the best foot fetish content on the market. And then also joining us, we have Karina, the hand job genie. She is a pleasure coach who specializes in manual stimulation, created using her own techniques that we're going to talk about. It's for men and women. And she's the owner of the all-natural sexual wellness brand, Love Below Intimates. Guys, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. Tell my listeners how you guys connect, because we have a hand job genie and we have a foot fetish master connoisseur.
Well, it was really just going out on a limb. Towards the beginning stages of the production company, I was reaching out to several models and I'd come across Karina's content and decided, hey, what's the worst she can say is no. I reached out, we met up to have a meeting, and it just went from there. We have a lot of similar goals, and we've developed a very good, healthy business relationship.
Okay. So what do y'all do for business together? Karina, tell me a little bit about what you guys do. What do y'all produce?
So Mike with Vibrant Foot Productions, they do a lot of my content recording for me. They attend events with me and help me set up and run the booths and the seminars. So that's kind of what we do together as far as my end of the business.
Sure. So we're going to start with Karina. I want to talk to you because you feel that orgasms are extremely important and you have a company or an organization.
So Save the Orgasms is a nonprofit. I set it up to be a nonprofit to basically bring awareness to the importance of orgasms, how orgasms work, why we need them, and as well as the orgasm gap between men and women. And the most important thing is having health insurance cover sexual wellness treatments and therapy.
Certified sex therapists and licensed in Texas, Florida, and Arizona. I'm on several, I think 9 or 10 insurance panels, and they won't touch it. We have to get creative in our billing. And I mean, obviously I'm seeing an individual, but I can't bill them for sex therapy. I have to bill them for individual therapy and then add that into the notes because the insurance doesn't want us to have good sex.
They don't understand the health benefits of good sex and orgasm specifically.
So the World Health Organization recently added sexual health and well-being to their top. They said that you have to have 3 things to live: food, housing, relationships, and now sex is on there. So I thought that was pretty amazing. If the World Health Organization recognizes that we need sex,
we're making progress then.
Why can't why?
That's not right. So, like you said, the top 3, number 4 on the hierarchy of needs is touch. So sex is a great way to incorporate touch in, life, your relationship, not just for pleasure, but for, as we said, for wellness and health benefits.
Yeah. So you are accredited for saying hand jobs are better than blow jobs. Tell us a little bit about that.
So there's thousands of nerve endings on the penis, on the shaft specifically, that cannot be reached by your mouth or your tongue. So a hand job is more capable of stimulating those nerve endings on the penis shaft. So it's just not scientifically possible for a mouth or a blowjob to be able to do it. It's not that you're doing it wrong or, you need to practice. It's just not physically possible.
I like that. Now, Mike, let's kind of flip just a second to you, because you have, the foot fetish and foot jobs. So we're talking about a hand job and job. So kind of walk me through the difference between those. Obviously, I know the difference, like it's a different body part, but what's, why, let's talk about like maybe why it's more stimulating for a foot job than it is a hand job.
When it comes to the foot jobs, you have to look at foot fetishism as a whole, right? And I guess the scientific word for it is podophilia. I find, because I think it's a goofy word, but anyway, it's a whole bag of sensory stimuli. For example, 50% of the kinks are attributed to foot fetishes, and 2/3 of men are attracted to women's feet at some capacity. It's a very feminine portion of the body. So you can achieve just as much coverage of the penis with a foot as you would with a hand, depending on the technique that's used. A lot of what you find online in the big industry doesn't really cover that as well or show that as well, unfortunately, because it's not a very widely seen fetish. But that's okay. That's something we're dedicated to working on and providing that kind of content.
Why is feet fetish important to you? Why is it an important state avenue for you?
Well, I feel as though this is, I guess you can say it's like the underdog, right? You think about the mainstream or what people would consider normal, right? As in like a pretty face or large breasts or small breasts or big butt or small butt or, those kind of areas. But that doesn't completely encapsulate the male arousal. Male arousal is 80% visual, right? So a man can find, or a woman can find any part of the body arousing. So when it comes to foot fetishes, it's important to me because, well, it's not very well represented. Tons of men have a foot fetish out there, some of which are not willing to explore that side of them because of how it's viewed. Some people think it's weird or gross or, whatever the case is. But in a spirit of inclusivity, we're here to say, no, it's not weird. It's not gross. It's not anything. It's no different from a man liking breasts. I mean, I like breasts too, or butt, or, it's not different. It's just a different area of the body.
Well, there is some science behind our foot fetish pleasures, censored pleasure spots in the brain. There is the psychology behind it. Sigmund Freud is attributed to kind of breaking the barriers for understanding foot fetish when it comes to the psychology of it. Sigmund, he gets a bad rap sometimes for his off the wall ideas and techniques. He was attributed to say, just because, his fixation theory, that the foot fetish can occur because a person's perspective of the toes and the feet are kind of like a penis substitute. So, whoever believes that, maybe you don't, maybe you do, but that was one of the things that he said. And he started trying to normalize the feet fetish from the very early days. So I thought that was interesting. Neurologically, if you think about where the pleasure sensory input is in the brain for our feet, it's very close to the pleasure part of genital stimulation. So that could account for some people's foot fetishes because, it's the pleasure sensors or pleasure spots in the brain. Also, think about how erotic like a foot massage is. There's those reflexology. And so you can really dig in and unlock some trauma, some repress anything by just having a good foot massage, which then again opens up our orgasmic experiences because we're getting rid of some of that tension and that builds up blockages, whatever we want to call it, that's we're carrying around, literally walking around on.
That is very much so true.
I live for a good foot massage.
Oh, neat.
I have not met somebody who does not like their feet being rubbed. If you know what you're doing, you know your way around a foot, it can unlock a lot. Everybody always thinks of the stress and tension being in your shoulders all the time. No, you stand on your feet all day. But think about it. When you get anxious, you start tapping your foot. When you're stressed, you walk faster. You put more pressure downwards. With the right kind of foot massage techniques, you unleash a ton of stress and you can reach different points of arousal.
Absolutely. So, Karina, we're going to just kind of jump between hand jobs and foot jobs and feet and orgasms. We're just going to talk about it all. So keep this in sort of manual stimulation. Manual stimulation doesn't have to just be with your hands. It can be with your feet as well. But you talk about your unique hand job techniques for men and women. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
So, well, manual stimulation, in my view, is more of a hand only job. So I like to say, if I can't do it with my hands, then it's not my area, of pleasure coaching. If it's not involving the hands, I did create my own unique set of hand job techniques for men and women. So in regards to women, whenever I say hand jobs for women, people kind of look confused because it doesn't make sense right away. But to me, there's a difference between fingering and external stimulation of the labia and the clitoris. So that is what I refer to as a hand job for women. So, there's fingering doesn't stimulate the clitoris, the external clitoris. So, but what do you call it when you massage the clitoris and labia? What do you call it?
Hand job.
It's a hand job, right? So, so once I explain that, in that way, then people get it like, oh, okay, because initially they'll think, fingering. That's the only term that they've heard most of the time. And as far as the man is concerned, most women, they only know maybe 2 or 3 strokes, the basics, blah, hand job strokes. So I have taken it to another level with my techniques, which are more sensual, more nurturing, and more stimulating in general, just because of the way I include both of my hands usually, and also a lot of incorporation of the balls as well.
So can you give like a few techniques to my listeners that they can start incorporating into their happy time with their partners?
So I can give you some advice on making sure that you're focusing on the area right up under the head as well as the head. That's where most of the sensitivity is on the penis. So there's a couple techniques where maybe take your thumb, hold the base with one hand, and with the other hand, take your thumb and just make circles right up underneath the head of the penis. Another way you can use a similar technique is holding the base. Close your hand like you are opening a doorknob and do that around the head of the penis, right under the head. So those are 2 stimulating and very, very easy techniques that look harmless, but they're very capable of causing a lot of pleasure.
I love how you talk about the hand job for women, because people think that our clitoris is just that 10% of what they see, that little button. Well, that's just the clitoris is hidden and it goes down the labia, the inner sides of the lips. And so those legs and being able to massage the entire clitoris instead of just the little button is mind blowing.
That area right above the clitoris that feels like a bone, that is a very orgasmic, pleasurable area to massage. So that's part of my techniques, is not focusing on the button, the man in the boat, per se. Yeah. But the other 90% that's around it is kind of more of my focus. Yeah. Because I find personally that direct clitoral stimulation is too intense. So, yeah, me personally, So I would assume or guess that a lot of other women feel the same way, which is why I'm very passionate about teaching men how to do hand jobs for us, because they tend to just go straight to the clit and start rubbing on it like it's sandpaper or something. And also with no lubrication, that not only does it not feel good, but it can tear the skin, that delicate skin around the clitoris and labia.
Are you a clinician or coach looking to deepen your understanding of diverse relationship dynamics? Dive into the Clinician's Guide to Ethical Non-Monogamous Relationships, working with clients with alternative lifestyles, the essential resource for navigating the complexities of modern relationships. Explore evidence-based approaches and gain invaluable insights to support your clients in ethical non-monogamous partnerships. This guide is your key to fostering empathy, understanding, and inclusivity in your practice. Don't miss out on this groundbreaking book tailored for the progressive clinician. Unlock the potential to revolutionize your approach and empower your clients. Visit evolveyourintimacy.com today to secure your copy and take the first steps towards evolving your practice. Evolveyourintimacy.com, transforming the way we understand love and relationships. Don't wait. Order today. Your practice depends on it. You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, and I am Dr. Stephanie. Now, let's get back to the show.
And so you have the all-natural sexual wellness products. Tell us a little bit about those and why they're important to use.
Yes. Okay. So the product line is called Love Below Intimate, and it's an all-natural product line, and it's a unisex product line, which is kind of hard to find because most brands focus on one or the other. One of my competitor, they are strictly feminine sexual wellness products. And so our brand, we want to incorporate both the man and the woman so that both of them are using natural products and both of them are getting the pleasure that they do deserve.
So about the natural products, why is it so important to use natural over the synthetic?
My view is that if you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your skin. And I try to live by that as much as I can, but you can't always do it. But if you can, especially on the mucous membranes, which your genital areas are mucous membranes and they absorb at a much higher rate than the skin on the rest of your body. So you really want to be careful, not only because of the absorption rate, but also the delicate skin, the chemicals. You can have irritation or even burning, chemical burns, rashes, and things like that if you use synthetic products.
People don't realize the delicacy of the tissue in the vulva area, and you can get micro tears, and also, micro tears in the anal area. So lubrication is so important to keep that experience, that session, pleasurable, so we're not tearing things.
Definitely. And when you do tear things by not being properly lubricated, you invite bacteria in much faster. So that's or yeast as well. If you aren't lubricated properly, it's going to throw off the balance in your vagina. And, here comes the yeast just swarming you. So with lubrication, it's very important. And the natural lubricant is the best thing to use.
Yeah, I understand. I agree with that. And where can they find these products?
Our website is LOVE below.biz. And we're on Instagram at Love Below Intimates, Facebook at Love Below Intimates, and Twitter at Love Below Intimates.
Okay, awesome. We'll have to, when those will also be in the show notes as well. So if you didn't get a chance to write that down and you're just driving or listening, it'll be in the show notes. All right, Mike, talk to me about Vibrant feet modeling and what makes it different than other feet modeling companies. What makes you different?
What makes us different is that we take an approach to this more authentically. The content that we have is in your face. It's very vibrant, hence the name Vibrant feet modeling. The soles are popping out of the screen. The models are positioned in powerful poses where they're confident, assertive, and intentionally showing the viewers their soles, toes, and heels. The things that they want to see pretty much in foot fetishes. Everything looks larger than life. A lot of the feedback that we hear is that the model and everything just kind of pops out of the screen. That's the effect we're looking for. We want you to feel like you're there. Like you can see like you're right in the room. We get up close and we show the angles of the feet prominently in every frame. Our videos are always filmed in 4K, 60 frames per second. Our pictures are in the highest megapixels possible. And we always push for clear daylight and bright lighting just so you can get all the details.
So my question, people think, and me right here, thought that you had to have immaculate, beautiful feet to be a foot model. However, I was looking on your sites and I've been looking since we've been talking about feet fetishes and you and I've been in communication now for so much. That's not the case. Like I see people who feet models who have blisters or they have calluses. And I was thinking it had to be just smooth and glassy.
I thought the same thing. My toes are really long and I always try to hide them with socks and sneakers. So it's just in the last couple of years, I realized that I have perfect foot modeling feet.
Yeah.
Like, who knew?
Right?
So I guess the easiest way to answer that is to say there's something for everyone, right? But it's so much deeper than that. You have to understand your audience, right? Everybody has different likes and dislikes. The authenticity of the everyday woman is really the most attractive thing. And that's actually true in psychology. The average person is the most attractive in group studies. And so what men want to see is all that you just mentioned. If your feet do have calluses, that's fine. If they're a little bit dry or they look a little like you've been walking around all day, they want to see those kind of things because that gives your feet character. Nobody wants to see anything fake, right? Sometimes something I always say is like, you want to look at things for either arousal or just interest, right? Like you're either curious, like you want to see this person out of curiosity, or you're attracted, you know? And we focus more on the attraction than curiosity. So that being said, some of the girls that we work with, they're just everyday girls. Some of them have been in the industry. They've been doing these modeling gigs for a while, and both of which receive very high praise. So it doesn't have to be this whole ideology of perfectionism.
It's a women thing, I think, that we think that everything has to be just right in its place.
Oh, no. See, this goes both ways, men and women. Unfortunately, and I'll tell you, because I'm a man, I'll tell you right now, what you were saying earlier about how men will focus on the clitoris, and they don't even know it's shaped like a wishbone. It's not just that 10% that you see; it's a lot more, and that's a crying shame.
Tragedy.
You know, I would love to apologize on behalf of all men for not knowing what they should know. Right? It's hilarious, especially like the men that are into sports. If you're a good hunter, you know everything about your prey, so you got to know everything. I like women, so I want to know everything about them. Women tend to have these different thoughts of what they think men want, right? You would be surprised. The simplest things can be the most attractive. You don't have to get $100 lingerie set. Your regular house shorts could be the most attractive thing you wear to your partner. This whole thing about perfect models with flawless skin. No. I think the artist's name was, there's a rap artist's name was Kendrick Lamar. He said, I want to see some ass with some stretch marks.
I got that for you.
Those are, call them tiger stripes, call them whatever. I don't care. It's attractive. It's arousing. Okay. Women, I have a lot of friends and I come across this a lot. They say, oh no, I just had a baby and all these stretch marks. No, your man's going to love all that. Your man is going to love all that.
Yeah, that's me. Hiding the stretch marks and then later finding out again that men love those things.
You will be surprised. It comes down to a primal sense. That's why the smell is such an important thing. Your partner will let you know. Just let them enjoy certain things. That if they like being touched a certain way, their body will tell you. They might not tell you physically, but their body will tell you. Same thing with men. They will tell you. It's just different how we express that. And I'm ranting a little bit, but it's a very, very important thing for me. Earlier you had asked me why foot fetishism is important to me. My business partner is more so the foot fetish expert than I am, admittedly. And when we were looking into beginning our production company, we thought about different strategies and ways to get in. And we said, well, this is the one thing we know quite a bit about. It's underrepresented. We have the ability and skill to raise the awareness and to say, it's okay. It's normal. It is okay. It's normal. It's just as normal as liking breasts or ass. It's the same thing, just a different part of the body.
So talk to me a little bit about vibrant foot modeling. Do you find feet models? Like how do people become a foot model?
Oh, just reach out to us or you want to be a foot model? Honestly, it's easier said than done. Let's just set realistic expectations, right? It comes down to being open to coaching if you've never done any form of modeling whatsoever and understanding the genre as it is. If you have any interest in that, by all means, you can reach out to us on any of our platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and we also have a loyal fans being set up as we speak. You just have to have an open mind, just like any other form of modeling. And we do also do other forms of modeling. Vibrant foot modeling is the prominent or main section of Vibrant Productions, but we have Vibrant Modeling Productions as well. We just reach out to models and say, hey, we'd like to work with you. That's a yes or no question at that point, really. And if they say yes, then we go down the line of this is what we're looking to shoot. This is the projects that we're working on. And we say, where you fit in.
And so is it a lucrative career?
Well, I would definitely say so. It's moving along a lot faster than I thought, which is always a good thing in any kind of business. It's quite lucrative in the sense of you have to think about the amount of work that you do to come to fruition, right? You don't have to do cartwheels or backflips or anything like that. So there's nothing extreme or crazy. But if you're intentional, the most important thing is being intentional, then it can become a very lucrative business or side business for anybody who's interested in modeling.
And all they do is just reach out to you.
That is it. Yeah. You send text message or DM or email or any form that we have open. We have all forms open of communication. If there is interest, we're open to talk about it. It's open discussion.
Okay. Do you foot model, Karina?
Yeah, actually, I have done a couple of sessions with Vibrant. Yes, actually, yesterday we did a shoot of me getting a foot massage, which somebody said they would like to change places with me while I was getting this foot massage. We won't say any names, but yes, I did a session with them last night. The quality of their work is very superior. I mean, the equipment they have, even the capability of being able to see real time the video being filmed is very, I enjoy filming with them and working with them in general.
So how do you film? Like, do you have to be there with them?
Yes, we film in person, live shoots. Like I said, the equipment they have is very superior and they're very well-rounded in setting up the equipment, the lighting, the spaces and all of that. They're really talented in doing that. So you will want to film with them in person and setup that they are able to put together.
Mike, for people who don't live in Central Florida and might want to work for you or with you, what do you tell them?
Well, that just really comes down to scheduling. We are more than happy to travel depending on, within reason, of course. I can't hop on a plane and go across the globe tomorrow, but that's where the scheduling comes into play. We do a lot of work with Karina as far as seminars and conventions and things like that. So if we're in town, that's a good way to do that. Or they can come to us. That's fine. we will make something happen. We'll make it work. If the interest is there and the model is serious about doing work, we'll make it happen. It's just a matter of when they're available, when we're available.
Do they need to send you any pictures or is it just, we accept feet? You got some feet, we accept them.
Okay. So yeah, definitely it's preferred if they don't already have a platform where they're modeling or if they're just getting in or anything like that. If they don't have pictures already online that we can see, it is preferred to snap 1 or 2 pics so we know what we're working with. That can really change the terms of the project itself. Just to give you an example to kind of clarify that, I did have a model that wanted to work with us and she said, okay, I set something up. I said, okay, so this is the project that we're going for, just coming home from work, right? And she showed up with fuzzy pink slippers, like really fuzzy, feathery pink slippers. And I said, well, the project was, you were coming home from work. We were laughing about it. She was like, oh, I thought, like house shoes. I said, no. Like you can slip into your house shoes, sure. But I don't think anybody goes to work in fuzzy pink slippers, so these little details make a big difference. But I mean, it's a very easy thing we fixed right away. Ultimately, though, color schemes, how I set up the scene can really affect the natural tone of your skin, regardless of what your skin tone is. If you're very fair skinned or if you've got dark skin or brown skin, that's not the point. The point is I want to be prepared to show you in the best light possible. So if I can see that ahead of time, that makes a massive difference.
So I'm assuming that I just have all these ideas in my head about now feet modeling, and I've never thought I'd have ideas in my head about feet modeling. So listen, if I get a massage.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to work with you. You tell me what, I'll get in the car right now.
But do you give massages? Like who gives the foot massages?
This project that we're working with Karina, actually, we laughed about it last night. And so, she asked me, does it look good? And I told her it was me. I said, hey, I would switch places with you. That's how good it looks. When it comes down to that, that is something that our clients want to see. The people want to see. They want to see the feet get massaged. So, we have.
I'm a moaner. When you're massaging my feet.
That's perfect. That's even better. Remember, it's an entire sensory experience. So the microphones and everything that we use captures everything. Like you can hear the feet rubbing against each other. You can hear the fingers growing up. And if you're a moaner, even better. That just shows that you're enjoying it. It's a point of view kind of shot. So the person watching this video, it's almost as if they're the ones doing it, and you want them to have that kind of experience.
Yeah, I think that's how we filmed it last night. Very up close and personal to the feet, and gets in the dripping of the oil down the feet.
I just want somebody to rub some oil on my feet.
Yeah. We actually used one of Love Below's massage candles to do the video. It was kind of a twofold thing. We're shooting to promote the candle and to get some foot massage content that people really want to see. So, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
Speaking of these projects, there are things that we're working on these tutorial series. We're codifying techniques and documenting them. And this is coming soon, so not just us, but anybody else can learn to do this.
Just to give you a brief why I asked to do this foot massage video last night. I'm going to put it on Groupon, and because Groupon allows you to post classes now. So yeah, I found this out a couple weeks ago in a Groupon class. So I'm going to post that little 10-15 minute massage class, and hopefully get more people interested in giving and receiving foot massages, because it's really easy to do it. You just kind of need a little bit of, a little class or a little instruction. So, yeah. And also you need a natural product like my massage candle, because your feet are highly absorbative too. So, yeah, it's a twofold thing, but I can't wait to see how it turned out.
And the massage candle itself is an amazing product. I've sampled quite a bit of the products of Love Below, and I'm not a spokesperson or anything. This isn't a paid thing, but they are the best products I've used. I've spent hundreds of dollars on different products and stuff like that. Literally the whole massage aspect. I personally have a table myself. Like I love the whole, yes, it's a fun experience, a great thing to do. And I've used several different candles. This one in particular, it smells great too. Amazing.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what did you think of the smell?
Oh, I loved it.
Sweet
No,
smell.
when you blow it out, there's no after smell, there's no burning smell, there's no nothing like that.
Mhm.
Absorbs into the skin easily. If you have any there was a little bit of residue, which is to be expected when you use a product like that, but it just rinsed right off. It was great.
Oh, wonderful. I would love to have this. I will definitely be checking out the website as soon as we get done with this call. And what I can try.
I'd love for you to try the products and maybe do some reviews on it.
I love product reviews. I have a whole section on my website for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not know that. So I'm going to have to get you out a care package.
Oh, yes. I will accept it and I will review each product thoroughly.
Okay. Say less. Got you covered.
Has your soggy pickle left you disappointed during times of intimacy? Do you need help keeping your pickle hard? I've partnered with a company that understands the unique needs of those in the lifestyle and the shame and disappointment that accompanies a soggy pickle. So the next time you have the opportunity to toss a salad, make sure you have a rock-hard pickle. Choose your treatment today by going to shamelesscare.com. You can sign up for a subscription service or get a one-time order. Make sure that you use code EYI at checkout and get your $30 off your first order. You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, and I am Dr. Stephanie. Now, let's get back to the show.
Excited that we are bringing awareness and education to foot fetish and hand jobs. I mean, I think that is, people think about sex, they think penetration, but, this is sex as well. This is an intimate activity with body parts that may not be a penetrative. It doesn't mean that it's still not pleasurable and it's still not part of the sexual experience. So one of my big things is allowing people to redefine what sex means and what sex truly is. And I think that you guys are on the cutting edge of helping others see that it's just not penetration. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, it's not just penetration. It's so much more to it than those two standard things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And there's a lot of psychology behind it and a lot of research that can back why it's a normal, healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I, just you mentioned psychology. We had the guys set up the 15 strokes instructional video that I have. They set it up at Exotica on the table as a display. And I can't even tell you how many people stopped to look at it and just were mesmerized. And so many people commented that it looked so relaxed and so hypnotic. And that ties in with what you're saying about psychology about it. It is relaxing. Touch is relaxing, and it does something when you see it. I guess the movements, it's almost like an art for me personally. I can't draw or paint or anything like that, but my hand movements are kind of like a life of their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me thinking about my next move.
Yeah.
It's always just flowing out of me. Like I could be talking to you and my hairs are moving on their own and I'm not even paying any attention to what's going on here. So, but I find that interesting and I did get, pleasure and motivation out of seeing how the guests at the event were satisfied with looking at the video. Not for sexual purposes. I don't think they were looking at it in a
Erotic way.
Erotic way. I think they just were intrigued by the artistic movements of it.
Yeah, it really goes to show that every sexual incident in your life should be an experience, and hopefully more so positive than negative. And if negative, you learn from it.
I get frustrated because we are a orgasm focused society. And I understand, yes, there is a huge orgasm gap. I get it. What you're doing is you are completely negating everything that led up and all of the activities that have happened, all the events for that orgasm. So if I didn't have an orgasm, now the whole experience is ruined.
So irritating.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's so irritating when a man asks me that, because it's like, I don't have to have an orgasm to have enjoyed this whole session. Like, why is that so important to you in this moment?
I agree. It's very abrupt and it takes away from a lot.
It does, because you're on this high. You know, you got all these endorphins from the activity that you just had. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you blew my high by asking me this question, this irrelevant question, because does it look like
Well, I guess
displeased?
I guess you could also look at it as, just as women have their insecurities about certain aspects of themselves or whatever, men do too.
Yeah.
And for us, we view the pinnacle of sexual performance being an orgasm, right?
Yes.
If you did, then your job is done, right? So,
Yeah.
because we experience that far more than women do, which is a freaking shame. But, for a lot of guys who are like, oh, did you? It's like, no, you have to understand, like, it can be an extremely great, positive, wonderful experience and still not had an orgasm. And that can happen to men too. There's lots of times where, I've been in different situations where, we're talking about hour, 2 hours or anything like that. And just at the end, didn't reach orgasm, but it was an amazing experience. Right. And so, unfortunately, especially with that kind of stuff comes with maturity, and maturity doesn't necessarily equate to age. Some people experience certain life things earlier than others, and there's that. But it's the openness to being mature about it and saying, okay, if you had a great time, I had a great time. That's what matters. It's bound to happen more often.
Yeah, that insecurity, I get that. Doing what I do when a man doesn't have an orgasm with one of my top tier hand jobs, it kind of makes me feel like I failed in a way.
We tie our success and failure to that.
But they'll say, no, it was great.
Oh yeah.
No, it was great. But because they probably know their body and know that they can't have an orgasm all the time or every time. But me, I don't know. And I feel like I did something wrong or wasn't paying attention, and know what I should have done. But yeah, to agree with you, Mike, yeah, we do have that insecurity, like, oh, I couldn't
Yeah.
have an orgasm.
And I hear that a lot. Well, that it was all ruined because you didn't have an orgasm, and you're just like, no, come on.
Yeah, we got to do better.
We do.
We got to stop it. All this pressure is too much.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why, especially, the educational podcasts, like mine's an educational podcast. I make sure that I bring people on who have far more experience and more expertise in various subjects than what I can have. But we have to have this sexual education and put it out there and not be ashamed to listen and not be ashamed to share it, because the sexual stigma is never going to go away if we don't just start doing things to change it.
That's absolutely true.
Right.
Tell our guests so I want each of you to take a few seconds to share your best imparting knowledge to the listeners. What do you want them to walk away with?
I'll say that when you're giving your partner a hand job, be intentional and know that it's not a race, it's a journey. Most women, they kind of like hurry up and get it over with, but that's not the best option for a great hand job. You want to take your time and want to please your mate, and by slowing down, not being distracted with TV or your phone or whatever. You just really want to focus in on your partner in that moment. And also make sure you use natural products. Like my Tap Out Pleasure Elixir is my favorite lubricant to use for hand jobs. Because number one, it is natural, and number two, it has a consistency that allows you to do these sensual and erotic type of strokes. So Tap Out Pleasure Elixir is my number one choice for that. So those are my 2 tips. Be intentional with touching your mate and use natural products when you can. Preferably Tap Out from Love Below Intimate.
Tap Out's an amazing product. You can also use it.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Internally too, but
Don't
forget it's multi-purpose. But I would say the 2 things is to just be open and understanding. Being open doesn't mean you're going to agree with everything and just say yes to everything, but it's just trying to understand your partner from their perspective of what they might like, or the other way around, understand your partner, what they might like, and just be open to trying things. Because just like I didn't know I liked blueberries till I tried it. It's the same thing in the bedroom or just in your relationship in general. You might think it's a little off or a little bit weird, but there really isn't anything that's off or weird. It's just a matter of perspective. So if you understand them from that, and you can be open to them expressing themselves, or you just be open to expressing yourself, everything else just comes a lot easier.
I like that. Well, yeah. So if you're listening, guys, jump on and let's definitely check out the products that they've mentioned. Let's go about this with an open mind. Check out their nonprofit, Save the O's. And if you're interested,
we're on change.org as well. Change.org/safe-orgasms.
Okay. And that is going to be linked in the show notes as well. So you can find that and sign it. So perfect. That will be linked in the show notes. And I'm also going to have your information linked for your social media so they can get on your websites and find you guys. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. And I look forward to working with you guys in the future. I'm definitely going to give you some product reviews. And
it has been nothing but a pleasure. By all means, just let me know. I'll fit you in the schedule anywhere.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you.
Until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to my show. I am Dr. Stephanie with Evolve Your Intimacy. And remember, you are not in this alone, and we are definitely here to help. You can learn more about all the amazing things that we do at evolveyourintimacy.com. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will receive free resources monthly to help you evolve your intimacy. Thank you again, and have a great night.